Welcome back. We've been looking at literal and figurative language, denotation and connotation, metaphor, and now we're going to look at symbol. If you have a look at that picture, a picture can have a literal as well as a figurative meaning. So look at that photograph. You could be asked literal questions about that text. You could be asked, what are you looking at? What are the buildings in the background? What do you see here at the front of the picture? You could be asked literal questions. But you could also be asked questions about its figurative meaning or about what it symbolizes. So you could get a question like, what does the Nelson Mandela Bridge symbolize? Explain the symbolism of the bridge. A symbol represents some idea. It can be a picture, a word, or a phrase having a lot of associated meanings. Remember we talked about connotation? We said associated meanings are meanings linked to the word. Here, meanings linked to the picture of, for example, of a bridge. Have a look at this. This is a symbol. What is a bird usually a symbol of? Well, usually of freedom. The bird can fly away, it's not trapped, it has wings, it can rise up into the sky. So a bird, very commonly, is a symbol of freedom. It represents freedom. It stands for freedom. So imagine you write a story, and in the story, the person keeps a bird in a cage. And then at the end of the story, the bird is let free. There would be some symbolism of freedom. Look at this one. This is such a common one. There is a red rose. What is a red rose a symbol of? It's a symbol of love. We know this. Valentine's Day and all the rest of it. A red rose symbolizes love. It stands for love. It represents love. So if your boyfriend sends you red roses, he's saying, I love you. Remember what our task was? Explain the symbolism of the bridge. So let's look at it again. You say to yourself, well, what does a bridge symbolize? Well, a bridge symbolizes linking one thing to another. The bridge is, for example, over a river. It links this side of the river to that side of the river. So you can say the obvious symbolism of a bridge is a link. If I said to you that that bridge that you're looking at links Braamfontein, which is close to us here, with Newtown, which is there over the railway line, you might say, yes, okay, that's the symbolism of the bridge as a link. But whom is that bridge named after? It's named after Nelson Mandela. So now I want you to go from the literal meaning of the bridge. We've gone a little bit further out to what do all bridges symbolize? Linking, joining. But now it's the Nelson Mandela Bridge. So now what added symbolism can you see? What added meaning? Well, Nelson Mandela managed to link, let's say, the past of apartheid with the new South Africa of our rainbow nation. He manages to link all groups in the country. Every population group is linked through Nelson Mandela. What about young and old? So he links all age groups. So we see this bridge having a literal meaning. It's a bridge. Oh, there's a bridge, we're going to drive on it, we're going to go somewhere. But the bridge also has a figurative meaning, which is the meaning of any bridge. And then it has a greater symbolic meaning because it's named after Nelson Mandela. And that gives this bridge an added meaning, a social meaning, a political meaning, a more human meaning. So what you've seen looking at that photograph is you've seen that a photograph can have a literal meaning, a denotation. It can also have a figurative meaning. And we've said that what is figurative meaning? This relates to the connotations of a word. So a literal meaning, it is what it is. The figurative meaning, it's another meaning, not a literal meaning. And we've been practicing how you discuss that, and that's what learners find so difficult. They often find it difficult even to find the metaphor. They often get it the wrong way around. If I say Nelson Mandela is a bridge in South Africa, it's not a bridge is being compared to Nelson Mandela. It's Nelson Mandela is being compared to a bridge. So your first step is get your metaphor or your symbol the right way around. This is the symbol. This is what it represents. This is the metaphor. This is what it's describing. Then you need to discuss it, and that's where students battle. They find it so hard. So you start with, in this metaphor or in this symbol, you explain the meaning much closer to the denotation, and then you move to the connotations and the figurative meaning. And I hope that's really helped you with quite a difficult section of your syllabus. From me, bye-bye.